And we're live in 3 minutes.
Not unless that's a Jack Daniels in that glass, we're not. Do I have to read my contract out to you line by line again? I will not go live to the nation without a triple Jack Daniels on the rocks in that glass. Do you think Philip fucking Schofield has to go through this every time he wants a hanky-panky before going on air? Does Lorraine shitting Kelly wait for her sex on the beach before talking about penis warts with Dr. Hilary Jones? I bet even Mr. Tumble gets his fix between takes. Does he? Can we fact check that? I'd be interested to know.
Well, this was a bit of luck, wasn't it?
What was?
5 years of unblocking U-bends, and now we're production managers on BTV.2.
Oh, I can't believe it.
How did this happen to us?
Well, you lied in the interview, didn't you?
Only a bit.
Now when?
Whenever they asked me a question.
And the rest of the time?
When I wasn't speaking, I was honest to a fault.
So that's what got us the job, was it? Oh, I thought it was when you told them we'd spent years training in Hollywood.
Well, we did. Hollywood, Worcestershire, just south of Birmingham.
This stuff isn't even fit for Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan isn't fit for anything, really. Oh, I see what's happened here. You only gave him the first half of the address.
Of course I did. Speaks for itself. Everyone in the Midlands knows Hollywood is just off the M42.
So are you going to read from the auto cue then?
Do you have shit in your ears? Was I not being clear? An election special of this caliber needs the deft skill and nuanced performance of an experienced presenter, not brainlessly reading that claptrap you put up there for me to read.
Okay, on in 3, 2, 1.
So, election. We've got one coming up on the 12th of December. And we all have to vote on that date. It will be a day I, for one, will never forget. As it's the day my wife is going to stay with her sister in Bolton for a few days for a bit of a catch-up, and I'll mercifully have the house to myself for a bit. I might pop out to vote too, but I can't guarantee it. It's at these times we look to the sage wisdom of random members of the public to guide us. And you may be able to read some of these scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. Of course, we also look to the advice of greater men and women. However, not being able to find any of these willing to come on the show, we asked the United States President, Ronald Trump, who he thought would be the best choice for the British public. We got no response from any official channels, so sent him a tweet, which he immediately replied to, saying, "That Tory clone of me gone wrong. Lol." We're still working hard to work out who Trump is referring to, but we'll let you know as soon as our political research team have unravelled his Frumpian riddle.
Do you think we should leave or remain?
I can't say. I haven't smelt it yet.
No, I'm talking about this shit Boris is going on about.
What, has he dropped one too, the dirty bastard? Shouldn't take too long now. Got some new boys in who really know their stuff. Trained in Hollywood, apparently. Ah, there we go. There's a face only a blind mother could love. Or apparently not, if we're to believe the kiss and tell stories in the gutter press and on ITV. Another unusual feature of this election is instead of half the nation voting like they should have gone to Specsavers, or at least some sort of remedial adult education centre for half-wits, the British public now have a purpose to their voting. Which vote will stop me hearing the word Brexit as quickly as possible? I jest, of course, but the matter of tactical voting has become a hot topic in the coming election. I think we need to be more tactical with our voting this year.
Yeah, We're going to have to be now. I've had to step down as chairman of the Constipation Party.
Oh, bloody hell, why?
The meetings were great, but we never passed a motion.
That's a shame. So are we just going back to drawing a penis on the ballot paper then?
No, we're not doing that again. 12 years of voting for a giant prick, and we've never had one of them in office, have we?
No.
We've got to be smarter.
Yeah. How are you at knocking up a pair of boobs at short notice?
No, smarter. You're not thinking right.
Pair of boobs with spectacles?
Well, you're the average man in the street.
Of course I am. I'd even go as far to say I'm the finest average man in the street.
Absolutely. So as the average man,
Finest average man?
the finest average man in the street, what party would you vote for?
In party. Every time. To take you through the tricky topic of tactical voting in more detail, we've commissioned a special report from our very own Dr. Knowlittle.
When I was requested by the programme makers to do a short piece on tactical voting in the approaching election, I prepared for it in the same way I approach all my TV work. What the hell are they talking about? Will I get a free lunch out of it? What do I know about the topic in question? I'm only joking. That last one wasn't real. How can I pretend to look like I know what I'm talking about without inciting national outrage? And can I get a cool background graphic? Haven't seen it yet, but thanks to the technical jiggery-pokery of our backroom boffins here at BTV.2, I have every confidence you're now looking at a beautiful photorealistic map of the British Isles.
UK map? Oh, I thought he wanted a picture of a terrified big bird being forced to play Australian rules football.
Nice job. So, in a nutshell, here's how we can all vote tactically. Right, let's kick off with the Johnsons. Number 1, Marine Parade, Dover. Mr. Johnson, if you vote for the Tories, like you normally do, but, Mrs. Johnson, if you counter this with a Labour vote, I appreciate this will probably end 25 years of blissful marriage, but bear with me, it will all be worth it in the end. Moving next door to number 3, Mrs. Constantine. Now, I know you don't usually vote and think it's all a bunch of poppycock, but this time, could you vote for the Green Party? And finally, Mr. Khan, if you can walk in loudly advertising that you'll be voting for the Brexit Party, but then secretly switch to Labour in the voting booth, that will make Mrs. Willits go off her rocker and storm out, booking herself on the first flight to Europe to escape the ensuing madness and despair, meaning she never casts her vote for the Liberal Democrats, and means the whole thing is a draw. Nobody has a majority, the election is a write-off, Brexit is cancelled, and everybody locks themselves indoors and goes back to waiting for the apocalypse. This has been Dr. Knowlittle, saving the nation.
Well, the results are in for the UK general election 2019, and the official statement from the press office is that the whole thing is a draw. No single party has a majority. The election is a write-off and Brexit is cancelled. Nobody is quite sure how any of this happened, or even if it's possible, but the authorities are asking members of the public to lock themselves indoors and go back to waiting for the apocalypse, until further notice. This has been the 10 o'clock news. Good night.